want to grab me and all this stuff, man.
Unhand me. You know what I mean?
Unhand me now.
Unhand me.
We just lucky Cam came. Hey, he might have walked over here to look for us and be like, hey, I can't.
Yeah, y'all lying to me this whole time. You guys are not doing an interview.
Yeah, not doing the pivot. Cam Bynum, Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor, I'm Ryan Clark, Pivot Fam. Thank you guys for pivoting with us on the training camp tour. Cam, man, I mean, it's something we've been wanting to do. I think your story is fascinating. You know, from being an undersized football player who had to grow into himself, becoming a star in Minnesota, and also kind of the king of celebrations.
Yes, sir.
As well, we'll get to it, man. But you really popped off my radar as a person, man. I think it was October of 23, after the game. You told the story about trying to get your wife here to the States. You know, you guys got married in the Philippines, and you met in the Philippines. You were working on doing that. Why did you feel the need to tell the world to ask for help in getting your wife here?
I just think it was important just for people to know what's going on, not just for our story, but for a lot of Filipinos, that's everybody's story, like their family, or whether it's long distance relationships, or just trying to make a living for themselves, trying to, you know, I didn't know when I met her that she just couldn't come over here. I'm like, you come to a game. She's like, I literally can't, like, you need a visa. So really going through the whole situation of us applying for her to get her visa and getting denied so many times, I was like, okay. I told her before the season, after she got denied the second time to be able to come to the U.S., I said, I'm going to make a play in one of these big games, and I'm going on live TV. I said this before season, so it was just a matter of time. And it was just a God thing that it happened on ESPN on the Monday night game against the Niners. They're the best team in the league at the time, so me being able to get 2 picks, I'm like, this is the platform that I'm going to be able to get my opportunity to ask for help, because I'm like, we got denied to get her to the States twice, so we had to do something.
Yeah.
We got to switch.
Oh, yeah, switch?
Fine.
We light skinned, baby.
Wow. Hey, that's crazy.
They need to bring some light in here.
They had to move me because of the dark skin? That's crazy. Cam, but
Put that down here. Set it up.
didn't the man say we got to stop playing? Like, we got to act like grown-ups? Cam, I want to say, though, the best team in the league, 2 picks, you get an opportunity to speak. Like, that's almost a moment to be like, hey, I'm Cam Bynum. I've arrived.
Right.
Especially someone that had the fight of becoming a player the way that you have. I think what you did show that, like, life is bigger than ball.
For sure.
How important was that for you then, that you totally kind of stepped away or misdirected from the game you had to talk about that?
Yeah, I just think it's important for people to know what's going on behind football. Like, you know, I'm over there I did the worm after getting those interceptions, having all that fun. But when it got serious after the game, I'm like, yeah, we've been married this whole time, and my wife is not here. I'm having to do 2 football seasons at the time, long distance. And, you know, people may not see the struggle on the outside that we were going through as far as being long distance and me having to fly there on the bye week. Like, that's how serious it was. Like, bye weeks, I was flying out to the Philippines for those 3 days just to see my wife. And just going through that and people realizing, okay, yeah, he's happy on the outside. And I was happy behind closed doors, but a lot of people didn't understand the struggle that we had to go through. It just, you know, my wife being on the other side of the world. And we knew what we were getting into when we got married, but it was just a different type of, you know, I wouldn't say sadness, because we're still happy. We're just grateful just to have our marriage and a healthy marriage and everything. And when you really got down to it, it was tough being able to, you know, being on FaceTime, me going through and watching film, doing my whole routine, all the extra work, but still having to manage being able to spend time together, long distance, FaceTime and everything with the time difference. There was a lot of things going on behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know. But more than anything, more than me looking for sympathy, it was more trying to tell the story that a lot of Filipinos are going through, and a lot of people are going through the same thing I'm going through. And I'm a football player, so people notice that, okay, he's a celebrity. But for me, I'm like, millions of other people are going through the same struggle I was.
I feel this way getting global entry in TSA pre-check, because I'd be like, bro, I'm rich.
I can't buy a plane ticket.
There was no steps that your fame or money or any influence you had could make to get that done fast.
Nothing. We tried everything. I went to the White House, met with the vice president, met with the president of the Philippines, and they said, we'll try and help, but just all those things, it's like we still had to go through the process. One thing about it, they're like, the reality of it, so many people are going through it, so it's like, okay, you're an NFL player. What does that matter? Let's see her application. Let's see the application. And it ended up, at the end of it, once it did go global, then we had a lot more help once it did happen after that game, but we still had to do another application. She still had to go in person, do another interview. So I'm like, yeah, everybody knows about it, but we still had to follow through with the process. So it was also cool the way that we didn't have, it was humbling that we didn't have just special treatment, being able to, just skip the line and just get our visa, especially me knowing that a lot of people are going through the same struggle.
Now, let's pivot for a minute, talk about the switch, man. You're in Indy now from Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
The switch from 24 to 0.
Yep.
Second time this training camp tour, we have somebody switch from their jersey number to 0. Gibbs, Jameer just changed to 0 too. How has it been, since the switch, and why 0?
It's been good. I'll start with the switch. Just moving to a different place. A lot of new things in my life. Just had a baby. Really being able to, have a fresh start. So everything feels new, which feels refreshing for me. 4 great, amazing years in Minnesota, being able to, start my career there, just have so many good memories going through it. But for me right now, I'm like, this is cool having a fresh start, being able to come in and be expected to be a leader and called to a higher standard, being a leader on a new team. So I've been enjoying it. But then switching to 0 was really, I try and make up a cool story, but reality, this is the best number that we could find. I got number 27 at first. But then I begged, and then they said we can go single digits, because normally the Colts don't do single digits. Stephon Gilmore was the only defensive player in the Colts history to get a single digit, so we begged, and then me and Mooney Ward were able to get single digits. So this is the best. I'll be real, this is the best number, but right now I'm gonna make up a good story though.
It's good when the 2 best free agent DBs though both want single digits.
Exactly.
Talk about the transition now. You played, in my opinion, with the Hall of Famer in Harrison Smith. I believe he's one of the best safeties of this era. Just extremely instinctive playmaker, great tackler. You got to learn with him, Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be expected to bring some of those things you learned throughout your 4 years in Minnesota after being drafted to the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
And you bring over Mooney Ward as well, because that was a position in the secondary that they wanted to bolster. What are you expecting from yourself now that you've become a leader in Indy?
I think the biggest thing I learned in Minnesota is just being a smart football player. And that's the number one thing I want to bring here to Indy, being a leader on this defensive football IQ. I don't think there's so many different disguises we can do, so many different coverages. I can go up to my coach and say, let's put this in. But for me, it's like, nah, I just want to be able to instill the fact that we need to come out here and we got to play smart. I'm talking like splits, down the distance, all the little, like the game within the game. That's what I want to be able to bring my knowledge to be a leader and be like, okay, guys, this is what we need to be thinking about and communicating every single play. And that's something I learned in Minnesota with Harry. It was like every single thing, he had a reason why he did every single thing. You watch the tape and it seems like he's just freelancing out there, but there's a rhyme and a reason. So coming here as a leader, I want to be able to learn the defense well enough to where I can, understand how much freedom I have within my job, and then empower everybody else on the whole defense to be able to think the same way, where we can all look like we're freelancing, but we're just playing together and playing fast, where we're seeing one thing, we're all seeing the same thing, we're able to play fast. And I think as a safety, that's something I got to bring, and that's the standard that I have to bring as a safety, being, the smartest on the field, the guy that's communicating the most. Technique, everything has to be on point, especially me being a free agent coming in here. I want to be able to set the standard by example first, and then be able to bring that. Now everybody's playing up to a higher standard.
How good of a player do you have to be to do all the dances you do and people not think it's too much? Because I was so scared to get beat that I was like, man, I can't work on these dances through the week, right? And talk about it's Parent Trap, it's white girls, like it's all these different things. Like, when did you start to feel comfortable enough to say, hey, Josh, like, Metellus, during the week, we gonna work on these dances because I know we gonna make a play and it's gonna be okay if we do that?
I've been doing this stuff since high school, clowning, because my high school, I was in California, so that's big time high school ball. So we were on TV, so I'm always finding the recording button on the camera that's recording, so I'd always do goofy stuff in the camera. But so since then, it was always on my mind to be able to have fun out there. So when we got to the league and, we started making plays, we're like, we work way too hard to not be able to celebrate and have fun like the offense has fun. Our whole mindset is like, okay, we're going to earn our right to have fun. If the offense can score or do a dance, I'm like, why can't the defense? It's way harder to get a turnover on defense than it is to score a touchdown on offense. There's, 5-6 touchdowns on average every single game, and especially now with the offenses being so high-powered. So on defense, our mindset is if we made a play, I don't care. we're putting it in a team meeting. We're doing everything. We're having meetings about celebrations because if we're planning something to have fun, we're gonna make it happen. And we had the most interceptions last year in Minnesota, and we were one of the best defenses in the league simply off the fact that we were out there having fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Cam, I already asked you though, any pushback? Because, you know, like that, you 20, I think you right in the middle because we're 40. You got these little 20-year-olds you playing with now.
Right.
But you being 27, I think you're in the middle of that old school football, but you a monster now. You be out there knocking bitches out.
Knock somebody out.
But you play in personal brand and everybody knows you. Is there any pushback was there any pushback in Minnesota? Now with the coach, we're like, Cam, you gotta chill out.
Never. The one thing our coach told us, B-Flow, he always told us, like, he's chewed us out more for not celebrating more than us doing too many celebrations.
Wow.
It got to that point of that's our standard. Because we're having fun, we're making plays, and if we're making plays, you guys earn the right to celebrate. So even when we got here, our coaches said in the first team meeting, every Friday we're gonna have a celebration rehearsal. And that's just off of, like I said, I keep saying standard, the word standard, like we have to expect to take the ball away. And when we can, we've earned our right to do that. And if we're not getting turnovers, then we're not gonna be able to do any celebrations. So it was a two-way street for me. I'm like, the fans will push back. If you have a bad week, they'll be like, oh, where are the celebrations at this week? Next week, we come back with 2 interceptions. It's like, all right, here it is.
Is there any rules to that?
What can you celebrate?
I'm about to say interception. You down by 21, but you get a pick.
It was last year. We called it a thirsty celebration if it was a fumble recovery, and we got him like, this really didn't take any skill. So I'm like, I just picked the ball up. I just jumped on the ball and got the ball, and I went and did a celebration with viral for it. I'm like, that was thirsty, but I'm like, we got the ball back. I don't care how you get it. So stuff like tackles and stuff, I'm like, yeah, y'all can have that. But anytime we get the ball or we get to rest after, we can go crazy on the celebration because we know we're off the field. So third down stop, we might progress to that. third down stop. We're doing a celebration.
That's
I'm gonna
a big play.
do a backflip after a third down stop.
So you was talking about, getting everybody together and leading, spoken like a real choreographer. Like what's the process in recruiting the guys? Or is it like everybody free game? Or even sometimes do they come up to you like, yo, what you got?
It took time. The first part of the year, until I did my Usher celebration, and that went viral. Once everything started going viral, they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? My boy Josh Metellus, he's always been on board, like since day one.
Great player too.
So the fact that we were together, like watching film, calling out, okay, this is my interception for the week. This is my interception for the week. We had that mindset to where, okay, now everybody's jumping on board. Okay, what are we gonna do with the whole team? What are we gonna do? Just DBs. If these 4 guys get it, what are we gonna do? So we always had like a plan. And everybody, I literally think it brought the team together. And I think that's why we were so good on defense, because we were, one, expecting to make plays, but also just the time that we were spending together to learn the defense, but also be able to learn, as simple as it is, learning dances and everything. Like, it's goofy. It sounds crazy.
Lunch away from the stadium?
Nah, we do it just group chat, send a video, and then we practice for like 10 minutes on the Saturday right before the game. The day before the game, and it was quick. It's like we put in a defense at halftime. We're expected to learn a defense at halftime if we have to make adjustments. So for us to learn a dance, everybody thinks we're taking hours a week. Right. I'm like, this is 10 minutes. Send it in a group chat a few days earlier, watch it a few times, just like when you're installing a defense. Yeah. You watch it on film one time, you got to be able to run it. So same thing for us.
Like RC was talking about the transition, right? With everything that was going on with your wife, having a new baby, the new deal, having to relocate to a new city, new team, meet a lot of new people, have you had time just for yourself?
I'll say yes, sir. I think my time overseas.
Yes, sir. Now you acting like them.
Yeah,
well, when he said 40, I looked at him because I was like, whoa.
God damn, Cam.
That sounded way too big. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know where that came from.
When you said we're 40, and like, I was like, who?
Look how he's sitting, like he got gout over there.
What?
I don't know where that came from.
Cam, literally,
I don't know why I say yes, sir.
This dude's changed so much, Cam. Bro, he used to be the coolest Cam. Now every time you try to eat something, he's like, "You gonna eat that Dairy Queen?" Yes.
You gonna eat that poison? I'm the same way. You gonna poison yourself like that? You hate your body? Okay, bad.
Yeah, he hates his body.
Yeah, you hate your body.
He hates his body.
But no, I think just the time to myself, I think is family. For me, I don't like crave time alone specifically. For me, it's serving, and it's me when I'm overseas in the off season. When living in the Philippines, that's really all the time that I need to step back and like decompress from everything. Because when I'm over there, it's like I feel like so much more purpose than just myself. To where I'm here, everything's about me. Like my wife's coming to practice for training camp. I get home, spend time, but I'm right back in the film room. Like all that is me time, and I enjoy that. So it's not like I'm not decompressing, but this whole half of the year in season is so much. Everything's literally revolving around me, to the point where when I'm in the off season, I'm just in full serving mode. So I think that's the time of like, you know, when I signed with the Colts, I was in the Philippines, or not when I signed, but during free agency, I was out there. So it was like, okay, it's cool to be able to have that moment. Like, you know, I changed my life, whatever. But for me, it was like, okay, now I'm somewhere else, being able to enjoy this moment with my family, with my friends, and everybody out there. So I think being not in the U.S. around football has been like, that's my time to decompress and really have the time to be a real person.
Bro, I ain't never been to the Philippines, but we travel abroad, different places. My wife's Cuban and going to them different places. Does that make you look at like the world different? Because when I started traveling, being from Atlanta, living in Miami, and now going abroad made me look at the world totally different.
For sure, that changed my perspective on everything. Really just put real problems or real life into perspective. Like, because I never really traveled until I got to the league. Like my first thing I did, my first off season, me and my mom, we went just to the top of Europe and we just went on the map and we're like, all right, we're gonna hit this country. We hit 9 countries in one off season. So that started just my whole standard of, you know, changing my life, being able to see things. And as soon as I traveled that first time, then I was like, all right, I'm not living here in the U.S. the whole year. And I love being here in the U.S., but just seeing the different life change of being able to live somewhere overseas half the year and being able to be in the NFL half the year, it's just the best of both worlds for me. And I think it changed just the way I look at everything, just because, you know, being grateful and just everything we have here, we're so spoiled in a good way. Everything's a blessing, how much we have, but it's also, it's like, it's a fake life we have. Everything's so convenient. We can buy anything we want, whenever we want. And, you know, we're around so much, you know, just money, being in the NFL. Like, whether you have it or not, you're more blessed than the average person. So being able to live overseas for me just showed me really everything I need to know about myself, of like, okay, I can't come back. I can't complain about anything. It makes me love the game more. It makes me just love everything. So when I come here, I'm super grateful. And when I'm there, I'm grateful too. So traveling has really changed my life.
I can't get a beer 24/7. That shit got to me. I'm like,
what's going on?
7-Eleven, bro, I want some wine. Like, everything's closed. Bro, that shit is different.
They don't work 24/7. It's like people actually have time with themselves, but that's the thing. It's like convenience. You realize, like, it's so nice being in the U.S., being able to have everything on our fingertips, but also when you're there, it's like, okay, now I'm grateful that when I get to go back home, I got Amazon, I got Uber Eats, everything, DoorDash. But it, like you said, it just changed your life. It changed my life, like being able to go see the world and to see that there's more to it than just this football stuff.
Yeah. You know, you're the first person that we've ever done a show with where people just kind of walk through the show. So that's you know what I mean? I love the fact that you were able to stay on task. Cam, there's a true joy in your voice, in your face, in your smile. And I think being able to travel and being a little more worldly gives you a great perspective.
Right.
After what you and your wife went through to be together here in the States, man, talk about being able to have a baby and start your own family here after fighting so hard to be with one another.
Yeah, it's just a full circle moment, just being able to see like our road that we had. It was tough going through it, and we enjoyed it going through because we knew God was gonna work something for good, even though we didn't see like the end of it. It's like we were just going through the whole process and like, dang, when is it gonna be the end? But now looking back at it, it's like, wow, we have a baby now. We have bought a house out here, and it's my first time being like a homeowner, living in my home while I'm in the NFL. And it's just so cool just being able to look back at the whole process and look at the struggle that we had, at all the highs and the lows, and to be like, okay, wow, now we have our own little family. Everybody's always talked about going to training camp, and it's always been my dream to have my kid running on the field and taking pictures with my wife and my kid after a training camp practice. And now I'm like, okay, 5 years into this NFL stuff, I'm able to finally do it. Just a full circle moment. And I'm just grateful just for the hard time that we had going through that whole process, because now it's like, we can get through anything, going through what we went through with the visa process and getting her to the U.S. and just the long distance we had to go through. Now it's like everything is cool. I don't remember the last time I've had a bad day, just off of just me being just so grateful And I think that's really built both of us to where,
I love
you
that,
know,
man.
even small little road trips, going to joint practice in Baltimore or traveling, I'm like, that's nothing. We used to do months at a time apart. I used to have to travel there on bye week and fly across the world, just get 2 days to go hang out. Like, just stuff like that just made everything so much easier. And like we talked about, perspective is everything. So now I'm like, everything's cool.
You
Everything's
made
easy.
a baby in 2 days?
Possibly. Could have been shorter. Who knows?
It don't take 2 days. It don't take 2
A few
days.
minutes.
Hey, I wanted to, now you made me forget what I wanted to ask you, man.
He didn't see his wife and now a baby coming. Like, goodness gracious. Boy, you work
2 plus 2. The math made sense.
And not only that, I know he's the pocket watcher, right? On this
Yeah.
show. You seen
No
him?
shame.
You seen him?
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have new teammates. I'm glad for 60. Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm looking at the cleats. Those chrome hearts. What kind
Nah,
of
these
cleats
are
are
the
those?
Justin Jefferson Under Armour cleats.
I
So I got
see
them
like
for free.
some stones
I'm
and
still
some
cheap at the end of the
diamonds.
day, but Jets put some diamonds on to where they look like designer, but
That's
they're
what
Under Armour.
when you
They're
have
smooth.
about 400 tackle, eight picks. That's what it do for you, huh?
That's what we did. I finally got signed to Under Armour, so I'm like, free stuff now.
Hey, free
We
stuff.
good.
So are you?
I ain't gotta pay.
What's your game like? RC's known more of a hitter, the guy who rewrote the NFL rules.
Right.
Right.
In some ways.
He's knocked
Yeah,
a
it's all
lot
your
of people
fault.
out.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
And that's why I said it was time for me to go.
Right.
I ruined the game. I'm
Ruined the
gonna
game,
roll
got
out.
out of there.
Yeah.
Right. You great hand,
Does it all.
hand skills, cover guy. You can obviously tackle well. What's your game though? Like what's your greatest attributes though, I guess, as a safety?
I say I'm a technician. I think everything that because I played corner my whole life until I got to the NFL. So they called me when they were drafting me, said, we're going to turn you into a safety. I've never played a snap of safety in a game, ever.
Wow.
But my biggest thing at corner, coming from how I grew up, slower than everybody, smaller than everybody, I found a coach, Coach Anthony Brown, that still trains me to this day. He said, I don't care how slow you are. I don't care if you're not athletic. We're going to turn you into a technician. You're going to learn how to stay square. You're going to have good eye discipline. You're going to be able to stay in your weave, like little certain things like that. You're not going to open up and run because that's what the fast guy wants you to do, that you're going against. So that was my foundation. So now when I'm in the NFL, my biggest thing is technique. There's so many guys that if you try and out-athlete them, I'll lose every time. We're defense, we're starting backwards. They know what they're doing, we're not. But if I'm using my technique and really being smart, I think that's one thing that I pride myself on, and that's why I'm able to make plays. I'm not faster than 90% of receivers out there, but I can cover like a corner, still being in the NFL, being a safety. I can still have, that background that I had playing corner my whole life. Now I'll be able to bring my smarts to be able to play safety, be able to cover a slot, cover tight ends easy. And really that's my whole makeup is all based off of my technique.
Right.
Cam, you play, you mentioned Jettas, and after Jamar's Triple Crown year, there's been this whole argument, right?
Yeah.
Who's the best wide receiver
Yeah.
in football? I've been seeing them both since high school. I went to LSU, I live in Louisiana, and they're both tremendous. After watching Justin every single day, you get to see him in practice, and what does make Justin Jefferson so special, and do you believe he's the best receiver in football?
I believe he's the best, and I don't care if it's biased or not. What I've seen from him in a game and what I've seen from him outside. We'll pause that.
What's up, brother?
Just sneak on in, huh?
Hey, boy, what's up, baby? Good. For sure. Looking good.
Big
Now
ass
you
good.
what you sneaking around
Hey,
for?
He walking slow.
Hey, then he was moving slow too.
Like, he's too big to be walking that slow.
Yeah, he was moving slow like a turtle. But
Love
like we
became
see
the
you.
show,
But honestly though, do you believe he's the best? And I guess again, why? Just kind of reset it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's the best in the league. Just what I've seen him do in practice, but also consistently in the game, no matter who's throwing him the ball. And I don't even want to compare him. Like, whoever people are going to say is the best, I look at his game, and I don't see a weakness in his game, and that's, like, probably the biggest thing. And what separated him from me coming out of college and being drafted, going to Minnesota, first thing I was observing, okay, who are the superstars and how do they practice? And that was, like, my first thing I was paying attention to when I got there. And one thing about Jets is, like, he practices hard every single day. He's going, like, every single route, no indicators, everything. He's going full speed on routes on air. Going against him, he's going full speed no matter who you are. And just everything that you want to see from a superstar that you imagine a superstar to be. I got to the league and realized, okay, not every superstar is practicing like this.
Yeah.
But he's practicing like that. And that was like the craziest thing that I've seen, like being there as a rookie. Okay, I'm like, okay, it's only his second year in the league. He's not, he's still popular. But going in year 5, year 4, year 5 for him, being his teammate year after year, like, okay, he hasn't switched up. He's still practicing hard, still going crazy in practice. And it was just one of those things that had us on our A game every single day on defense. But being able to go against him made us better. And just seeing him, what he does, like day after day, down after down, I'm like, yeah, I don't think anybody can be this good.
Yeah. With the way you work, and reading your story and just also knowing that you weren't a big kid growing up, right? You've already talked about, okay, if I'm not as athletic, I had to learn to do these different things. How much focus do you put on building a schedule of whether it's work, study, treatment, in order to compete at a high level on game day?
Yeah, I think my routine is insane, whether it's extra work. Every single day, like people say, like being durable, your availability is your best ability. And that's one thing that I've been able to do my whole career. I've been able to stay healthy, thank God, but it's all based off my routine. I'm doing extra work after practice to the point where practice isn't the hardest thing I'm doing every single day. But every single day I'm touching the field, I'm getting my body worked on. So there's never a day that I'm working this much and doing all this extra work, all the extra lifts and everything, that I'm not working on my body after practice, because I'm like, okay, if I want to be able to last 17 games like I have been, plus playoffs, like I got to take care of that myself. So for me, my routine really makes me comfortable going into game day to be elite. And I think if I'm not perfect with my routine, I won't feel comfortable going into the game. So I feel like every single thing that I do throughout the week, all the extra work every single day after practice, I'm gone till about 9 p.m. every single day. And
like me.
I hate it for my wife, but she understands the game and she understands, okay, these 17 weeks, this is his schedule that he needs to focus on to be able to feed the family. And thankfully I come home and there's food on the table for me, dinner and everything, to where she's a good teammate with that. So I don't feel bad putting in an extra hour of work after practice, plus body work, plus coming home, saying hi and getting in the film and getting in the playbook. So all those things add up to me feeling complete by game day.
Hey, Chan, you be like, you remember Babe, though? Used to be, I only saw you 2 days a year.
Yeah.
Now, I get to see you.
Put that work in. You done watching film?
Rushing you off the iPad.
You better hurry up. Yeah, he one of the few guys that can be like, babe, but look how much time we get compared to what we used to have.
Bro, do you ever play angry? Because you're so happy, like you dance, you're so upbeat, and every time I've seen you, at any moment, any meeting, you're always smiling.
I'm having fun.
Do you ever play, and he played angry.
Yeah, you played angry.
Do you ever play angry? Like, has anybody ever got to you?
I'm not like that. It's like, for me, being perfect, I get so much satisfaction out of having like a clean rep, to where I'm like, no matter who's talking crazy, I'm like, I just want to be clean. I want to make plays to the point where I'm like, I'm having fun. Like, each play I win is like me smacking somebody or like something like that. So I feel like me being all hyped, I try to, turn up music and the headphones before the game. I'm like, that's not me. I be listening to Brian McKnight before games, be chilling. I be vibing like to the point where like I just don't play angry. But that's not my game, because I want to be able to have fun, be so comfortable out there where I feel like it's practice. If I'm not angry during practice, I'm like, why am I angry in a game? Yeah. It should be the same. My routine is going to be the same. My mindset's going to be the same. So for me, I'm out there having fun. Like, game days are my reward for the week. Like, I'm so serious and so locked in during the week to where, I walk around, like, people in the facility might see me. Yeah, I'm smiling and everything, but I'm, like, so focused. Yeah. But game day, I'm like a little kid in a candy store running around, having fun, turning up the crowd. Like, that's me earning my right to have fun on the field.
No one's ever challenged that, Cam? Like, no one's ever been like, hey, man, like, lock in, or hey, it's game day. Like,
they see my focus. So it's like, they see during the week, like, how much time I put in and how much work, to where there's never a question that, okay, I'll never be not prepared for game day. So It's like, and people know, like, I'm just a happy, chilling. I'm chill. So it's like, what am I going to crash out for? I'm going to pick the ball off still.
You guys broke camp today, officially, right?
Yeah.
How excited are you to be able to go sleep in your own bed? You got a house already?
I got a
In the
house that's
transition?
a few minutes from where we do training camp here, so I'm actually mad about camp being done. 'Cause now I got to drive 35 minutes to the other facility, but
Yeah.
but no, it's cool being able to go back home now and finally lock in on my routine and not be at the hotel, so I can finally get my Pilates schedule going, get my extra work, just everything to where being able to have the same schedule the rest of the year. Now I'm able to lock in because the last few weeks being in training camp, you know how busy the schedule is. It's hard to really add anything to the, we're here from morning to nighttime to 8 p.m. So now that I'm able to add what I need to my schedule, now I'm going to feel like, okay, now I can progress even more with my game and, have more time to work on my game. So I'm excited for camp to be over.
Cam, come on now. I'm sure you want to progress your game. You've been in camp and at the hotel
Oh, Lord.
for this long.
Talk to me. I know
And you going home tonight, and you worried about Pilates?
That's a form of Pilates?
Couples Pilates. It's in the basement.
He gonna get his stretches
Pilates in the basement.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go get a sibling over there, man.
Trust me. I'm married, so I'm comfortable talking about this. We good.
You're in a good spot.
But no, I go home and relax a little. After the game, save my legs today, but after the game,
Hey, you sound like the boxers you be talking to.
Yeah.
They be like, yeah, man, I got my
He
fight.
stopped his style, but what you be doing?
save my legs.
Hey,
I just lay sideways sometimes. I'm old.
He's so unserious, dog. He's so unserious.
I love it.
For you, man, as this is progressing, though, like we all set goals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Zaire earlier,
Right.
and we were just talking about though how your goals evolve,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you come in as a 4th-round pick that's being moved to safety, there's a goal of learning the position. Then I want to
Right.
become a starter. Now I want to become an impact player. Now you get here and you're a leader. What are some of the goals you have set for yourself as you now come to Indianapolis and try to establish yourself here?
My biggest goal here, starting off, it's gonna go through waves. My first chunk of time here, biggest goal, get to know the guys. Because I can't do anything else if I'm not close with my teammates, especially me coming in and them looking at me as a leader and me trying to be a leader. My first goal is to get to know everybody on a deeper level than just football. So that happened, OTAs and everything. That's just natural. But now that training camp is coming to an end, becoming a captain and just being somebody where people can look to when we need an answer on the defense, on the team, and not even through football, just with the energy and just keeping everything on point in football. Then on top of that, just being the best in the league. That's one thing that I go through. People would ask me, who's the best in the league? And as a competitor, you're always going to say yourself. But I'm like, I got to have numbers to back it up. I got to be real. So it's for me, I believe I'm the best, one of the best in the league every single year. But it's I got to do more to show it, because I can't go out in public and say that until I'm showing people consistently taking the ball away, making every tackle, just being one of the best football players, standing out on tape every single week. So for me, it's just being a standout player to the point where I can help my team on and off the field, to where we're winning games because of me, and the way I communicate, we're winning games, the way I lead, the way I practice, where everything is elevating every single thing around me to the point where you see an instant impact of when I got to the Colts, this program changed.
Yeah.
And I want to be somebody that changed the program based off of, how I treat people first and foremost, but the way they see me work, the way my routine, my, just intentionality, just every little thing that I'm doing. I'm I want to leave an impact bigger than football. I want people being on an interview years later, be like, Cam Bynum, he was one of the best teammates I've had. He's one of the hardest workers. He helped me out. He spoke life to me, and he elevated the team. And that's my biggest goal moving forward, going through this whole time in Indianapolis.
Speaking of teammates, AR came into the interview and our sit down. You have an opportunity, obviously, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. How have you seen them progress through camp? And is there anything you can do from your point of view to try to help those guys as they move through?
I think the best thing I can do is compete the best I can against them, be able to put the defense in good positions to be able to make plays against them so they can see, okay, this is what I need to get better at. If we're not playing well on defense, we're not giving them a good look, and we're not helping them, doing them a service going into the year. But I think just them being able to compete, it's been such a healthy competition in a good way, where I see both of them elevating throughout camp, to where one person, you know, they'll both have their days. One may look better than the other on a certain day, but throughout camp, when you look at it, both of them have progressed. And now going through it, it's like, on defense, we're like, we don't care who the starter is. We trust both of them to be able to go out and carry this team where we want to be. And we know, you know, the course of football, you never know who's going to be in the game. So you trust whoever's there at quarterback. But we're doing our job on defense to be able to go and compete against them and give them the toughest looks they can get every single day.
They say Lou ain't messing around.
He's not playing at all.
That's my guy.
It's cool. I love Lou first and foremost because he's coaching everybody. The superstars in the room, people that have been paid well.
Yeah.
If you're a rookie, it doesn't matter. He's coaching us all the same. I've gotten yelled at by Louis already. The young guys have, like, and that's one thing that I want from any coach that's coaching me, especially being our DC, is being able to hold us accountable.
Right.
And just, you know, the mindset that he has on defense, being able to be aggressive and be able to, you know, just keep the offense guessing and keeping us moving forward instead of us just staying back, being passive. I think just his mindset as a person and what he does on the field and the defense that he dials up, that's something that, like, I'm fully behind everything he's going to be having us do this year, and especially as a person, like, the fact that he's holding us accountable, like, that's the most I can ask, especially, you know, I'm coming in here as a free agent. Some people may be slow to coach me and talk to me in a crazy way. I'm like, no, you need to coach me hard. If you see I'm being stagnant, not making enough plays, I literally told him a few days ago, I haven't made a few plays and it's been a few practices, I haven't made a play. Like, you got to tell me if I'm doing anything where I can progress more or just anything. I'm like, coach me hard. I don't care how much money they pay me. I don't care if I'm new. Like, you got to coach me hard so I can get better. And you keep that same energy through the whole year. Like, don't take it easy on us, because I see us being one of the best defenses in the league, and we can't have that if we have a passive defensive coordinator.
Well, I'm only asking 2 games for y'all not to be great.
What's that?
And then the rest of the year, y'all can do y'all thing. That's it. I mean, I'm in
that's a division
enemy
game.
territory.
That's a division game. We got to go crazy. We got to go crazy.
Out there, certainly, you got to go out there and do your thing, and so do the other guys. And like everybody else, that's what y'all pull up. That's what they pay y'all for. I don't expect anything less. Jacksonville, they got to do what they're supposed to do. And the best team, the most prepared team is going to win it.
Every time.
Right? So,
every time.
You know, I just had to throw that out there, though. See where your head was at.
Don't listen to none of that.
That would the money here.
Yeah, don't listen to none of that.
I got to get a pick. Now I got to make a play against Jacksonville.
Listening to you talk about being the best, though, individually, but also what you guys were able to create in Minnesota. In 2008, bro, we were on the cover of ESPN magazine. We were the #1 defense in football, and we win the Super Bowl, and we all felt like we lost, right? Because Larry Fitzgerald goes crazy in the fourth quarter. We put ourselves and our team in a position where we could lose. Ben has to bail us out. After having such a successful year last year, and then down the stretch, you know, you have an opportunity to win the North. You don't get that game. Then you get to the playoffs, and Los Angeles is able to play well. What did you learn from starting the season so hot and then not finishing the way you wanted to as a defense?
I think just mainly just staying, like, our routine and everything, like, nothing changed as far as our process and everything. But you just mentally, you have to go through that long game. I could feel, like, looking back at it now, it kind of felt like we put so much into that Lions game because it was both of us were, I forget our records, 14-2.
Yeah, you could have went
we're fighting for that 1 seed. It's where we put everything into that and didn't look past. And obviously we shouldn't have looked past any games past that game because it's like 1 week at a time. But I felt like we put so much into that specific game emotionally to the point where the game after that was like, okay, now it's almost like a letdown of energy. Like, that was our Super Bowl. And now when it really mattered in the playoffs, the week after that, we kind of had a lapse in I wouldn't even say in our work ethic or anything, but just going into the game, you felt more flat than it usually did. Yeah. And that's just hindsight looking back at it now.
I was there, yeah.
Like, looking back at it now, and that's how I feel. Like, you couldn't tell me that we didn't prepare as hard as we possibly could, or going into the game we felt low or felt flat. But looking back at it now, it just felt like the energy that we put into that Lions game, if we were able to sustain that the weeks after that, our team would have played way better and just moved forward a lot better than what we did. But like I said, our process and everything was great. It was just one of those things where, looking back at it now, I can tell that we didn't play the long game as well as we should have.
When you are black and anything else in America, you're seen as a black man.
Right.
Right. And the way that you have held on to your Filipino heritage, to me, is so inspiring because, like, those are all parts of you.
Right.
And you get to represent that in a stage where that's not represented as much as it is being a black man. How have you been able to stay so connected to that part of you, even though that hasn't been your everyday?
Going to the Philippines did everything for me. Like, I grew up around like all my Filipino family and my black side. So like my dad's side being the African American side and my mom's side, I was able to spend a lot of time with both of them. So it was always like, you know, a lot of people may see it as like an identity crisis of not knowing what I am. For me, but for me, it was like my superpower. Like, I'm able to go have family. You know, we're having a cookout, but we're also having the Filipino food up in the Bay Area with my Filipino family. So it was always cool being able to bring people around both sides of my family, and that being like something that I really took pride in. So once I was able to go to the Philippines and realize how big of a deal it was, like for me, it was Manny Pacquiao. He's like a guy that really gave me pride about being Filipino and like seeing what he did just for the whole country, like being one of the, in my opinion, the greatest ever. But also being somebody that was giving back to his country, doing everything that I aspired to do from a young age, and seeing him do it and how big of a deal it was for people just being Filipino and seeing somebody, you know, represent. So it was cool for me to do the same thing on my stage, even though it's not as, my stage isn't as grand as his was worldwide. But for me, being a football player, having a simple things like waving a flag after a game and just being able to represent something, it's just so touching for me, just being able to know that people are really like looking at it for inspiration and looking at me for inspiration. I think just going through the whole process, that's what I realized, like a little act of just representing somebody that may not be seen is doing so much. And just like you said, being black and Filipino, like me living in America and being able to represent both is so cool for me. And I think a lot of people, you know, I get a lot of messages, are you forgetting you're black? But it's like, no, I'm me, and I'm able to represent both sides, and I'm able to be proud about both sides. And me playing football, living in America and everything, like we see so much, and everything I do is representing America also, and also being able to do the Philippines. It's just so cool being able to, you know, represent two things, but bring pride to just everything.
I love that, man.
So it's cool.
I think he's the biggest pivot candidate, by the way, even though it's not a tour question for ET.
Yeah, it's hard to be on training camp tour, but we ask it anyway, right?
Yeah.
We always ask our guests what their biggest pivot is. That's that one moment in life you can look back on and say, because this happened for me or to me, I am who I am today.
It's easy for me to say the whole situation with my wife, but I was already in the NFL, and then, you know, it was just a matter of time for that to happen, and it was a tough situation. But for me, I think my biggest pivot moment was I was good in youth football. Everything was going well for me. Then I get sophomore year, transferred to a different high school, like one of the best high schools in California. And, you know, I was good my freshman year at this other private school I went to. Then I get to this school, and I'm fifth string on JV sophomore season. And
what school is it?
Corona Centennial.
Oh, wow.
So we were playing Mater Dei, Bosco, all those boys. So I was fifth string on JV my sophomore year. You know, all my friends are getting college scholarships sophomore year, and I'm sitting the bench, not even playing in JV games.
Wow.
And I think the biggest pivot moment was for me when I met the coach I mentioned, Anthony Brown.
Right.
He came up to me. He was my 7-on-7 coach with Ground Zero 7-on-7. And I got beat. I'll tell you, in one tournament, like 5 touchdowns in one game. He went up to my dad. I need to see your son at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I see something in him. I think I can get him to college. And that's me being, you know, probably like 5'1", 5'2", 90-something pounds in sophomore year. Maybe 100 pounds. Maybe 100. I've probably touched 100 pounds. But that was my moment when Coach Brown found me, and I showed up 5 a.m. and his daughter was with him, and she saw me training. She's like, "Dad, this guy's trash." Like, she was keeping it real. And Coach said, as long as he keeps showing up, I'm going to keep showing up. Wow. We go through the whole high school, going from fifth string on JV, and every day, 5 a.m., like, I'm talking 5 days a week, every single day. Before school, I show up, go to practice at school, come back after school, work out with him again, and just time after time, day after day, going in from that into sophomore year, I'm starting varsity, going into junior year. And that was my foundation of becoming a technician, like I mentioned, but just me being able to really just put my mind to something and have no doubt in myself that if I put the work in, like I never had a question, even when I was 5th Street JV, that I'd be sitting in this chair playing for an NFL team, being, you know, in my opinion, one of the best safeties in the league, and just being able to be here. I never had a doubt about that because I knew that I'm willing to put the work in.
Right.
And for me, that was my pivot moment when Coach talked to my dad, and I hated I was mad at my dad, like, dang, I hate Coach. Like, why would you say yes to this? But for me, I was like, that was the best decision that he made me do, but also me saying yes to the grind also. And like I said, we went every single day for years and even training with him to this day. And that's been the biggest moment of my life that brought me to this point, built my foundation.
Man, this is something I really wanted to do, man. Thank you so much for your time, especially in this setting. Yeah. I know it's difficult, man. That was just...
It's an honor.
Engaging to listen to, though, man. But, like, you are impossible to not cheer for. Man, I wish you the best. Do your thing.
Thank you, guys.
Even against them and Pittsburgh. I ain't tripping.
Always do his thing.
Appreciate you.
Everybody that. I want you to do your thing.
No, that was good, man. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate y'all. Nah, for real. It's an honor. It's crazy. It's a God thing. Like, the fact I was in the Philippines and all my friends were like, hey, you got to reach out to the pivot, try to get on the show. That's like the biggest thing. Literally the day after you hit me up, I'm like, y'all wouldn't believe this. Like, it was crazy. So it was just so cool that I was able to get on with you guys.
Only one thing from the show, though. You don't have to call me Mister. I'm just Freddie T. I'm Fred T.
Hey, no, I said sir. He said, I didn't say Mister. Mister's a different level. I don't know why I said sir.
I was messing with you the whole time.
There he is.
What up?
What up, though?
Yeah. Doing research, Wikipedia, lying.
Wikipedia say you. They say you 280.
That was a long time ago.
Man, we gotta get that.
Get that corner.
Change. Where we at?
Right here in the corner, dog.
All right.
What you was doing at 280?
Fighting Willie Colon every day at practice?
Nah, I was in college then.
With free?
Yeah, man, that was a while ago.
Wow.
Now I see all my teammates coaching. I don't know what it's saying about me.
Hey, what it said about you, you should be playing damn good football for a hell of a long time, big brother.
Just trying to get better.
And what's crazy is it felt like you have. This is Cam Heyward. Welcome to The Pivot. This is Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor.
Never met you before.
Nice to meet you, brother.
I'm Ryan Clark. Pivot fam, thank you for pivoting with us. Man, first off, getting an opportunity to see your mom has been beautiful, just like a beautiful spirit. And she was saying how much better it is to have the Pro Bowl in Orlando as opposed to Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
She talked about Pro Bowl being in Hawaii, and your father, Ironhead Craig Heyward, he went to the Pro Bowl in 1995.
Yeah.
Right, and it was obviously in Hawaii in those days. But in watching Hard Knocks, man, and seeing you and your brother's relationship, even though you guys are so far apart in age, how often do you get a chance to truly reflect on the fact that, you know, y'all get to have a rekindled adult relationship at this time of your lives?
We're about almost 10 years apart. Mm-hmm. When I was leaving for college, that dude was like in elementary school.
Right.
So just trying to relearn ourselves. There are things I learned about Connor now. I'm like, that ain't even my little brother no more. That's my teammate.
Right.
And so, like, understanding that, but like, we play in a city where our dad played college football. And so for me, when I first got here, I was relearning my dad and how he was around the city. Good or bad or indifferent, I got to see my dad. I get to fill Connor in on a lot of that stuff because he was 6 or 7 years old when my dad passed. And so he didn't get to see everything as much as I got to see, but I'm still mad my dad didn't take me to the Pro Bowl that year in Hawaii, because I'm like, every kid wants to go to Hawaii.
Right.
I get to relearn him and just, you know, he's no longer just my brother, he's my teammate, and he's my friend, and it's really cool to watch him go through this journey and learn so much that I didn't even know at the time. I can't give him all the answers because he needs to experience for himself, but I get to be, you know, someone he can rely on that I always didn't have.
Is there some code to it? Because the Watts,
Yeah.
the Bosas,
Yeah.
you know, the Heywards. Like, bro, it ain't easy to make it to the league.
It ain't.
So they had 2 dudes in the league, you know what I'm saying? We know your daddy was a monster, but like, what happened? How would y'all grow up that you could say, you look back like, now I could see how 2 of us could do this?
Well, you look back in Georgia, like where we grew up, the Heywards run Gwinnett County in Georgia. And so, you know, whether it was basketball, football, you knew, like, if it was a Heyward walking in, it was the scene. We ran every sport there just because we were in everything. And so everybody always played the hardest versus us. Everybody always wanted to try to be, you know, Craig Hayward's son. But I kind of feel like we created our own legacy because of that.
Yeah.
My one brother, Corey, he played basketball, monster in basketball, went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
We have an older brother. He doesn't get talked about enough. He's in Jersey. You know, he's a cop right now. But he played football at my dad's old high school. And so, you know, the legacy lives on just besides my dad.
Talking about legacy, I'll go ahead and play into these guys' joke. Your dad's last year was my rookie year.
Think about that, Cam. Cam, think about how old Fred gotta be.
Hey, yo.
Oh, shoot, Fred.
See, I'm going to play into it because I'm a team player, right? But no, I did admire your dad's running style and all that he did. What's your fondest memory of your father? Whether it's on the field, off the field, in the house, you know, something that we wouldn't have got an opportunity to see.
I got two memories. I think my favorite memory, we were down in Atlanta, and like after every game at home, he would come take me from the stands, put me on his shoulders, take me in the locker room. I tried to beat up Jamal Anderson, trying to just, you know, I was overly grown then, so like, I'm like 8 years old picking on like, you know, NFL running backs back then. But I think my favorite memory, and I'm gonna do this to my kids one day, I was getting some award at school and like was like an assembly. And I think I was just like a participation trophy. And they called my dad, they didn't tell me. He showed up in an all gold suit and embarrassed the hell out of me. You know, and I felt so awkward at that moment, like, bro, like, man, why you had to do that in front of everybody? And like when we used to go to school, he was always that one car, had the music playing, rap music. Yeah. I used to be embarrassed. But like, I'm gonna do that to my kids now too. I'm gonna make sure they know I'm a little bit crazy, just so they know they can't act out of line. But those were the fun memories, not just, you know, my dad being a football player.
Cam, now first off, I have to show that I'm crazy so that my kids are aware that there could be imminent danger.
Yes.
You ain't gotta show it.
No, you do.
No,
you do.
no, Cam, when you walked through the door, imminent danger went off in my head. You know what I'm saying? I thought to myself, wait, I could be in trouble. You know, like I remember, man, your rookie year, bro, like you were the chronic to the whistle guy.
Yes.
Right? Every snap. And they would try to jump you, you'd fight, you'd line right back up and be ready to go. Like you were the rookie that I watched progress through the season. And it's like, okay, this is every reason why they drafted him. And so you fast forward to now, bro, still making Pro Bowl, still being an all-pro player. And you kind of, when I look at the team, you're the last dude that came in on our stretch, right? A stretch that was Super Bowls and AFC North championships. Fast forward to one of your best years being this year. You start out hot as a team, and then you guys again sort of sputter down the stretch. How frustrating has it been to not have reached that pinnacle of a Super Bowl, which your individual play, your individual leadership says 100% you should have?
The individual stuff is great, but you know you're truly measured by what your team does. Being on those teams, being a young guy, I didn't care what my position was. I didn't care if I only played 3 plays. Like, it hurt me as an individual when I didn't play as much, but I remember Coach John Mitchell, he was like, I got my starters. I got my playmakers. I got Aaron Smith. I got Casey Hampton. I got Brett Kiesel. And then I got a first rounder in Ziggy Hood waiting. So it was like, all right, I can respect that. Like, going into a position like that, you have to humble yourself. And I was never going to be a detriment to the team. But like, you know, I'm just going to learn as much as I can. I'm going to learn as much as I can from you, Troy, like Potsy, you name it. I was just trying to learn from you guys. And then you fast forward to now, you know, I'm jealous of y'all. I'm jealous of what y'all put on the field. I'm jealous that when I see that ESPN magazine picture, it's like all those dudes I just learned from. And it's not just 11 dudes on defense. It's like the corner, the nickel, the backup, backup D tackle. Like, everybody's on that picture.
Yeah.
And so, because I saw those dudes thrive and, hold each other accountable, I feel like I have to do that. And I know I'm running out of time and, there's sand going through the hourglass, but it's like, I want it so bad just to be on par with y'all because I have that much respect for y'all. The All-Pros, the Pro Bowls, that's the work you put in the offseason. It's about challenging yourself and understanding that this game isn't for everybody, but this game can be for everybody. You win a Super Bowl because they will remember you and they'll make sure that they bring you back for the 10-year anniversary, the 20-year anniversary. Like, you watch Joe Green come in, fingers all messed up, but you see all the rings. And you're like, that dude, he's respected by everybody. He's loved by everybody. That dude threw a helmet into the stands. But still, Mean Joe is Mean Joe, and you don't mess with Mean Joe, and you love Mean Joe. And I've just always been enamored by guys like that. Franco, that have played with one team. Oh, well, Franco didn't play with one, but everyone remembers Franco from one team.
But like Mel Blunt still comes. Yeah, bro.
And it's just like those legends, like when you look at Canton and you look at what they've done, they didn't have to go anywhere else. They were remembered for one team and they won Super Bowls. And I want to be a part of that one day. And so there's a sense of urgency in there. I know we didn't end where we wanted to, and I have to own that. But, it took me 2 weeks to understand I got more shots at this, so I got to keep going.
Well, you talking about the Steelers organization, you bring up Franco, bring up me, Joe Green. Through RC and PZ, I met a bunch of y'all damn Steelers, and I always bring up, we talked to a number of people, fell in love with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Just him, like that organization. Would you be the same player if you were, and I don't want to call any other team, but if you weren't in Pittsburgh, would you be the same player? Because it seems like there's something that y'all do up there that other organizations don't do.
I can't say it would happen in every organization. There's some organizations you don't mess with. Like, when you're looking at free agency, there are certain places you ain't going. I think my career goes hand in hand with the Pittsburgh Steelers. One, I've grown through the system and I feel like I've gotten better in years, but it's not like I wouldn't be challenging myself anywhere else. Like, I'd be still trying to get it wherever I go.
That was evident from you, from the very start, is to challenge yourself. How difficult is it to deal with the change in sort of generation, right? Like, I feel like you got to see it all take the arc, right? We had where you dealing with Troy, who he ain't even controlling Instagram. Posse ain't have an Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Casey Hampton still had a flip phone. You know what I mean? It was like that locker room was football.
Yeah.
Period. And we'd fight each other. You know how Casey used to be, dog. If it's first down and they get a 6-yard pass in 3, Casey turn around, man. You know what I'm saying? Or if y'all had a 6-yard run, Ike cussing y'all out. Like, that was who we were. But then when we went out together, you had to fight us all. Right? That was it. And now with some of those changes, you went through the Killer Bees era, and now you've had different receivers come and go, quarterback changes. Is it hard to deal with how much of a shift has happened in the locker room?
I think locker rooms change, right? And you have to be intentional about what you want. And you have to be intentional about the team. I can say I bitch and moan about everything. Like, everybody's always hot at me. What is his deal? Like, why is he on us about this? Like, but it's like, that's what I learned. Because, like, Hamp was intentional about it. Because, like, Ike was expecting a lot. As much as I'm gonna expect out of them, they're gonna expect out of me. So I don't have any problem being the loudest one in the room, declaring we need this, because they're gonna expect that from me. But I think crazy is crazy. Like, you gonna find crazy whatever generation you in.
Right.
Like, Joe Namath would have went crazy in the social area. Like, you name it. There's guys in every generation that have, their brand that they want and what they want to strive for. But I think you can still have a team and still be readily focused on just everything's possible. You take care of your business and you win.
Do you ever have to tighten up the young boys about social media or talking or too much information and
Yeah, you have to do that on every team. Like, social media, it you can use it as a tool to get better, but it can also be used as a weapon to hurt your team or, hurt others. But, I always think like Ohio State prepared me for that. We had this pure lady, Shelly Poe. Man, she did an amazing job of just saying, you have a choice. You can use, the media and everything that comes with it to your advantage, or you can let that take advantage of you. And so, understanding that if someone asks you a question you might not like, you can still answer in a proper way and get what you want out of it rather than just, attacking that person.
Yeah.
And having that dialogue. Ohio State prepares you for that, and I'm pretty thankful for it.
I used to call myself a stealer killer once upon a time, right? I know it ages me again. But I heard of a little story about your rookie year. And this guy over here was your biggest hater.
Second year.
Second year.
Second year.
Second year. Fill us in on it, because RC will go in on you.
Me, a hater?
RC does that. RC does that. We've talked about this.
So I was a stealer killer on the outside, but if you got a stealer killer from within, that ain't good.
Boy, I can tell you about that whole story. So
tell me, please.
I think we had started off like 0-4. Everybody's just a little bit tight. Like, everybody's just trying really hard. And out of nowhere, RC came and was like, he called me a bust. And I was like, wait, hold on, what? He just called me a bust. So like, I'm hot.
Jerome Bettis bust.
No, like bust, like
With a T.
yeah, I was hot.
Trash.
Yeah, like I'm trying everything to get on the field, and I got a guy in the leadership role come at me and say I'm a bust, and so I wanted to fight RC at the time, but there were guys around me who was like, bro, just chill, you got it, we'll be fine. Troy's coming at me. Hey, man, just let it go. RC just says whatever he wants. He like, whatever. But the funny thing about that, I think we was 0-3 at the time, and we was going to London. I didn't play that much. Right. We got on the plane. Everybody's dead silent. It was a long flight home. Troy and RC goes, bro, why aren't you starting? I'm like, bro, I've been trying to start this whole time. So, it's funny how it came back like that, but I started starting after that game.
Because that's when Adrian Peterson rolled off on me.
Bro.
And I was like, hey,
he rolled off on you.
Somebody got to help me.
Everybody had ankles on AP, right? And I'm watching it, and you just see AP keep going past, and everybody's like at the tail end. That was the last time we went to London. I was so mad we left on like a Thursday night.
Yep.
And we arrived Friday morning. And so we practiced right then. Coaches sleep on the field. Players sleep on the field during stretch.
Yeah.
Dickie fell asleep with the
clicker.
With the clicker in his hand. He was fast forwarding. And he went through the entire game film in like 10 minutes. And nobody stopped him the entire time.
Nah, because we didn't find out, because y'all travel there a lot, Freddie T. And so I don't know what day y'all go.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, we practiced on Thursday.
Yes.
And then got on the flight.
Plane, yeah.
We land in
Friday, then go through walkthrough.
We went through
go
practice.
Yeah, I didn't go through a Friday.
No.
Like Fast Friday.
What's a Fast Friday?
Fast Friday was... It was, I mean,
everybody who comes to the Steelers, man, this ain't no Fast Friday. We here longer than everybody.
So it's not an hour go shower.
No.
Yeah, Fast Friday was like boom, boom, boom. Shells, we in and out, just a cleanup day. You in and out, and then that's a wrap.
We don't have no cleanup days.
I mean, it was competitive, but it was fast. It was faster than the hour and 45 or 2 hour practices on Wednesday, Thursday.
No, sir.
It was like an hour 10.
Freddie, you remember we go to the camp and we walk in and we be like, damn, they out here banging.
Oh, yeah.
We go to all the football camps. We go to Pittsburgh.
The Maxwell Backers is crazy.
But they be
it's
out there
arcade.
banging. But I got to ask RC. So AP walks away from your ass.
Yes.
And you go and yell at the backup tackle.
That was before.
Oh, it was before? I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you have to do with that? Like,
He got through the line, shoot.
you went on the field.
I was coming from the backside.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand, too, the era in which I played in Pittsburgh. Like, people wasn't just getting through the second level. Like, that just wasn't, like when Freddie T came and did what Freddie T did, the reason it was special was because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when we go get Cam, bro, like we on the back end of like 5 out of 8 years of being the #1 defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? We go to 2 Super Bowls because of that when I'm there. They went to 1 before. And so what was going on with us, and this is the time, like, I'm the captain. You know what I mean? I worked my whole life to be the captain of something. You know what I mean? And like, we 0-4. And so it just was a lot. And I just remember Mike T calling me to the little, the little small dungeon cubby hole he got, and just talking to him. And he's being like, man, like, you gotta lead. Like, you gotta keep working. You gotta keep going. And I was at a point, it's like, I don't know how in this position, because it was a position we just had never been in. And we fought our way out of it. We ended up 8-8, but we learned a lot.
He challenged you in that sense.
Yeah.
How did you respond to it?
Took it on the chin, kept it moving. Like, I was pissed about it, but, my brother can say whatever he wants. It's up for me to how I respond to it and how I deal with it. I just put my head down and kept working, man. Like, people have always counted me out. People have always thought, I'm the 31st pick in the draft, and that's me being like, I understand that's a privileged position, being the first round, but there was D linemen over me, and that just adds more fire to the fuel.
Right.
And so I remember that. I remember the D linemen were taking over me. I remember, coming out in the draft and, them saying this about me or what I was capable of. You just put that in the back pocket and you say, I'll use that for later.
The big thing about it was I didn't talk to people who were never going to matter, though. Right? And not that I didn't have conversations with them, but there is no motivating someone, or there is no tapping in to what makes someone great if there is no greatness there. There's people in the locker room, y'all cool, you dap them up, but that guy's never gonna help us. Like, obviously he could, and like, you've grown with Mike T. Mm-hmm. I was already mid-career with him. You started as the rookie, you've grown into the captain, the leader of the team. How has that relationship with Coach evolved?
I think he allows me to be me more because he trusts me. Sometimes my antics might seem a little bit weird, whether it's starting a fight during practice.
That's an antic? I thought that was just a routine day.
So it's changed, though. Early on, that's just routine, that's just what we do. But I think I've become more calculated when I do it, whether it's challenging another or, making sure practice fits the speed we need. But we have a lot more conversations about what he expects out of me, but what he expects out of the group. And it's more of how can I do that organically and how can I, hold everybody accountable, but still challenge myself in that too.
And I talked to Omar Khan about this after I said it. It's a very, and you're gonna be in the media, it's a very tricky position to be in when someone associates you with one team to talk about that team. Mm-hmm. It's a tricky position to be in to talk about your friends, whether I'm speaking about you or if I'm talking about Coach Tomlin, Omar, these people I know. So last year, as another stretch came to an end, I said, you don't fire a coach like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, in my opinion, is unfireable. You do have conversations with a coach like that. And I said, I think Mike T has earned the right to say that maybe my voice has gotten stale in this locker room. Maybe I'm not finding a way to push the right buttons to get us to play to our best potential in the most important moments. And I was like, he could have an Andy Reid start somewhere else, and there are a ton of teams in this league that would take him. What's giving you continued confidence that Mike T is the right person to lead the Steelers where he had once led them, and that's a Super Bowl?
I think one is transparency. From the second I walked in, I never had to question what the message was or what he expected out of me. After the season, I was ready to have my meeting, just like air it all out. And, I'm sick, I'm not feeling good. And he looks at me and goes, man, we gonna talk later. We ain't gonna talk now. Because we just need to give ourselves some space. Because, you're in it and, it ends so abrupt, it's just, you don't know how to process it. Last year, when I got hurt during the season, I came back. It was a long season. I'm talking about retirement. I'm just, there was just a bunch of things on my mind. I got in the meeting, And this dude had a whole plan of how the meeting was gonna go. Because he's asked me about how I'm thinking, I'm saying I'm coming back. We leave the meeting, he brings me into the scouting room. And he's talking to one of our guys, Tosin. He's our scout, one of our scouts. And he's got a list of everybody at my position, their age, what they've accomplished, and he's like, I'm just gonna hand this out for you. And so we start watching film. And I'm like, this dude had a plan. And he finds ways to motivate guys in and out at every season because, no season's the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what makes him so much better than every coach. He knows how to motivate players in and out, and it doesn't have to be some great, big mantra speech. He can get it down to just an individual basis where it's like, you've done this, let's see if you can hit this again. He'll talk about, in 2017, man, you was a monster. I don't think you can get back to that.
Right.
And so I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm not letting you do this to me. I'm not letting you put me into the, I know my 18, 19, 20, and 21 weren't that bad. And so I'm like, if you have a good game, yeah, I got something for the scout that keeps talking that mess. I got something left in the tank to keep showing y'all. And so there's stuff like that that other players get to see, but it's all in different ways. It makes for great players just challenging each other.
Well, what's going to make that decision? Because we talk about it, and we watch you dominate games still. Mm-hmm. We be laughing like, damn, Cam old ass, still out there whooping the boys' ass. And really taking over, possessions.
Right.
When, what's going to be, because like you say, Tomlin encourages, or whatever he does, he's super smart. I love Mike Tomlin. And he tries you almost.
He totally tries
you. Watch this, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's gonna make you say, man, I'm not, do you have to see yourself not dominate possessions anymore?
This is the first year, Mike T was just talking, I was getting held out of practice. I had never been held out of practice. But we came up with a plan to be ready for the season. He had me in the pool and he was calling me the swim captain all year long. And so, that became a thing. But, when we got to Sunday, we was kicking ass. Mm-hmm. And so I had to grow from that because I love practice. I don't like being taken out of practice. There were sometimes I'd be like, Mike T, I need this practice because I like to feel like I've gone through it through the week and I'm prepared. But whether it's, making sure my walkthrough is a little bit longer, I get out there early, take a couple more reps. I'm doing things outside of it, but when I can't do that and I can't play how I want to play, then I can call it a career.
Cam, since we're talking about age, man, take us back. We've talked a lot about football. 2006, you win Georgia 6A, 5A, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
21 days after you celebrate your birthday, you lose your father. How must a teenager, take us back to during that time? I can't even comprehend losing my dad and my dad at a very young age.
Yeah.
How tough was that for you?
So I lost him after my junior year. He had been sick for a while. When I was, my first 2 years of high school, I went to a private school. It was about an hour drive. And he would take, my mom and dad would switch off and take me to this different school. The one day, he was supposed to take me, my parents were divorced at the time, and he just didn't show up. So we knew something was off. Found out he had a heart attack and a stroke and left him paralyzed on his right side. So I ended up transferring and going to the high school right near me. And my dad that year could not walk, but his goal was to be able to walk for my senior night. He didn't make it to that, but I felt like he was always there and always part of that. We had been working, he had been doing a bunch of rehab, broke my mom's heart, because she knew how, that moment was big, having him there. I didn't realize at the time, but I was going through depression. I was going through a time where I couldn't really speak to anybody about it. It took years and years to even, come to the conclusion I was going through depression. Fast forward, go to state championship. Craziest thing is we tied in the state championship. He's laughing because the year before we were in the state championship, but another team was, and they were sending hate mail to the kicker and turning all this, so they ended up having ties available. And the other team didn't know it was a tie, so they kneeled on the last play.
Wow.
Had everybody hot. Had everybody hot. Then we get, after the season, you know, and there's like a little bit of stretch there before I graduate. And then while I'm still picking where I'm gonna go for college, watching my mom step up in that moment was big in my life. I always say she was like my agent because she's asking college coaches, you play a 3-4, you play a 4-3, how many D tackles you got? Like, wow. She's asking all these questions. My mom was big in my life now, but watching her step up for me in that moment was huge.
Sort of navigate it.
I didn't realize how much I checked out during that time. I wasn't answering my phone. I was sleeping a lot. I was quiet. It took going to college, me and my wife on the first day, and not knowing it, but sharing her my story to kind of break me out of that. You know, my roommates used to say, damn, Cam's always sleeping in his room. But I was going through depression. But I had teammates and family just around me that kind of just took me out of that time. And it's funny how the world works where, you know, you think you've lost somebody and then you get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're like, damn, how did this happen?
Right.
I get drafted and I got all my family back in Atlanta and I have everybody from Pittsburgh coming down. We didn't even think I was gonna get drafted by Pittsburgh. That wasn't even an option. But we get to the night and my grandparents are there, and after I get drafted, my mom was like, God and Dad had a plan for you.
Yeah.
And that, it's a movie, man. You can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
And so watching everything in my life just become intertwined that way has been really special.
You're in the place where your father played ball in college, and you say you've gotten to learn things about him, good and bad. Mm-hmm. And you know, when your mother comes to you and says, hey, God and your father had a plan, part of that plan also could be now you get to have a part of me, you get to learn more about me. What has that journey been like for you?
It's been the best thing in my life. Not only having a legacy, but building on that legacy. When my dad was in college, I think he got in a fight one of his first times, broke his arm in college, and he had the red shirt the first year because of it. And so coaches we have either played with my dad or, you know, went to school with him and talk about, Head was there for everybody. I'll do anything for Head. You know, coaches I play against now, you know, I love your dad. We've done so much. And those conversations I'm just thankful for because that's not just my legacy, but it's everybody speaking on his legacy and how he had an effect on people. You know, I'll watch him on YouTube and see him going to Children's Hospital, and not looking for the camera, but the camera follows him. But I'm just thankful that I get to have those memories that just keep growing outside of me.
I love that you mentioned that about your father. You know, you with your foundation and the things that you've done for the community and becoming Walter Payton Man of the Year. The people I've talked to that have won the award hold this award in the esteem that many people are even higher than some of their sporting accolades, some of the things that they've done athletically. What does it mean for your legacy and your name and your father's name to be attached to an award that's named for a man in Walter Payton, who's sweetness, right? But that is, I guess, awarded to a person that accomplishes or that epitomizes exactly what it is to be a man of the people?
My dad and me were both nominated for this award. And, you know, I remember my mom being like, man, your dad was up for that award. He loved Walter Payton. Mm-hmm. And he loved what he did for his city and the way he went about helping others. I got a chance to learn, you know, the Payton family over the years. And, you know, Ashley, Connie, and their son have just always been, I've always held in a great esteem because they've been so kind to me. They went out of their way to welcome me to their family. You know, Jared still texts me to this day, and we talk about, you know, what's going on with sports. But to win an award like that, I felt kind of weird, being nominated every year, and you're like, I might get it this year. You never know. And then you don't get it, and you're like, how do I approach that? Can I be upset that I didn't get that award?
Right. Is that showing the character of Walter Payton that I'm pissed off?
I feel horrible about being mad about it because you know that award means so much to many people. You're like, I just want to be able to uphold that respect for the award. It's an honor to receive the award. I tell you right now, I did not know I was winning it last year. Like, in years past, they had told the winner ahead of schedule. I get up there, I start seeing the film roll of what we've been doing all year, and that's when they announce it. And I'm like, nobody had a chance to tell me. And I'm like, I gotta go up there. Prince Harry's up there. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. You know, I'm telling my wife and my mom at the time, I'm like, guys, it's not happening. They would have told me by then. They would have told me before the award show started. So I'm like, we're just gonna enjoy the night.
Right.
And so I ended up going up there and receiving the award. I'm like, hopefully I can get through this message in the speech because I don't feel prepared. It's not on the teleprompter. It's like, I'm just out here like, I'm excited to be here, man. Because I just have so much love for that award because of the man he is, because of what he did for so many people. And you know, once you win the award, it doesn't just stop there because they're gonna bring somebody in after you, doesn't mean they forget about you. And you have to just continue to be a servant of the community. Man, that's one of those awards you never forget.
That's awesome.
You done did it all. Like, what are you still chasing? The philanthropy side, you got the Walter Payton Man, you do so much good with charity, you're Super Bowl champion, multi-time Pro Bowl.
I'm not a Super Bowl champion. Don't
You
you
ain't
do
won
that
yet?
No.
No, hey, Chan, you see I ain't cut the room off?
He ain't won one.
Hey,
Nah, you know.
they both light-skinned. I was gonna cut it off that way.
Normally I cut the room off with other Super Bowl champions in the room. It's only me.
Really?
You see how you be throwing those little digs in there?
Yeah,
He
but he
does
doing
that.
that. Bro,
He does it with us. Don't feel offended. He does it with us.
He did it in front of Dick LeBeau to me, talking about, yeah, coach, he ain't never really won nothing. And I'm like, I see this, Dick LeBeau, man. You embarrassing me out here in front of Dick.
In front of Dickie Bird, that's messed up, man.
He never gets an opportunity to cut the room off unless there's a light-skinned fellow in the room with him. And just so happen y'all are on that side together.
I'm darker than him.
No.
You not.
Cam. You yellow red.
I'm Mr. Caramel.
But y'all, you got two Georgia boys together.
But so that might be, are you chasing a Super Bowl? What are you chasing still? Because you've done it all. You've led this, Pro Bowls, what are you still chasing?
Chasing Super Bowls, but I'm just chasing greatness, man. Like, there's a bunch of dudes that I have a bunch of respect for that I want to be able to be amongst. I want my career to be amongst them. And to say I was one of the best players at my position when I played.
You are beating around the bush in a very Steeler way. I was with our boy the day he got selected to the Hall of Fame, Troy, right? We were on the beach in Miami.
I'm still mad about that. I didn't go.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. They told me I couldn't go, but then all the doctors went and all had COVID after that. I was so mad.
So we were on the beach that day, and you know Troy. I was like, TP, man, like, you know, by tomorrow, bro, you're gonna be a Hall of Famer. And you know him, God willing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? God willing, RC, you know, I'm not in control. And I was like, Troy, don't make me fight you, bro. Like, you're gonna be a Hall of Famer. But, you know, that was the beauty about him. It's the beauty about the place we got an opportunity to play, is that you do sort of feel small the entire time you're there because of what everybody else accomplished. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one of the few places that when you walk up the stairs, you see those Lombardis and you see the pictures of the people who played a part in winning them, and you realize, gosh, I'm such a minute detail in what this organization is. Yeah. But as it winds down for you, bro, and you're still making all-pro teams in your mid-30s and still dominating the line of scrimmage, how often do you let your mind go to, I do want to be amongst those players when it comes to delivering championships, but a gold jacket and the Ring of Honor in Pittsburgh is a whole different thing than other organizations. How often do you think about the possibilities of those things?
I haven't allowed myself to even go there because I'm trying to stay present. Yeah. Talk about just the championships. You walk into the Steelers facility, you go up the stairs, first thing you see is them 6 trophies. And you watch, you know, Hamp and Potsy, they're in these robes, these Super Bowl robes with the cigars. And I'm like, damn, I want to be a part of that. Like, I want to be part of that euphoric feeling where it's like, everybody else is done, My last game, I won. My last game, I won. And I was able to walk away from that season. Yeah, we can run it back, but guess what? That team is cemented. You don't have to worry about anything else. I want that feeling, but then, you know, after that, Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, it's a special group that you get to invite all your friends and say thank you. Because it's a village, man. Like, you don't get there without the teammates. You don't get there without the coaches. You don't get there without the trainers or your friends, your family. Like, when they start listing off who they've had, like, who you want to bring along, it's like, how am I not gonna invite the doctor that helped me that one time? How am I not gonna invite my son's preschool teacher that, you know, was able to give him some extra work so he could come to one of my games or something? You start to feel thankful that everybody played a part in you completing this journey. I want that feeling because I can't do it without everybody. And I just have, like, RC will be there for, you know, making that bust comment. And, like,
Any way I can get there, brother.
you are on the list, but, like, you know, I just have a lot of people to be thankful for. And if I have a chance to be in the Ring of Honor, be in the Hall of Fame, I'm gonna make sure my list is full because those people deserve that moment as well.
We can tell you for sure that we're all rooting for you. I think along those lines, man, you've done so much with your philanthropy work, with Heyward House, Walter Payton Man of the Year. Made me think a little bit, because I was huge. Sweetness was the reason why I got into ball. Lost him at a real young age. We mentioned losing your father at a real young age. And it gives you an opportunity to kind of step back and gain perspective, right, on life, on the game itself. You know, sometimes people look around and they say, these players, we can hope that they live forever, almost. How has your perspective on football and life evolved over the years, having witnessed so much? And what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
Man, I hope I leave along a legacy that, one, nobody determines what you are without your say-so, without you either accepting it or changing it. I'm not shying away from a fight or adversity, but I determine who I'm gonna be in this world. When I look at this, I have a lot of respect for Sweetness and guys who've done it for a long time. But that legacy in people are molded because of how you played and how you were in the community, man, that's special. I'm not shying away from that. And the last thing, I just think, when you look at this game and if you're not passing on what you know to others, shame on you.
Right.
When I got in this league, everybody was, you know, open about how to play this game, how to take care of your body, how to be in the community. I don't start my foundation, the Heyward House, without guys like Troy or Brett Kiesel or Aaron Smith. They had, like, causes they cared about, you know, and, you know, you get a kid DMing you about how can I get better at this? How can I get better in the game? Man, I feel like that's my job to do. Like, this game's got to get better because I'm sharing. I'm not holding the secret. I want everybody to be successful because if everybody's successful on a team, we all eat because of that.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so it's just about being an open book and making sure more guys can see it around you.
Man, I hear Mike T all over that.
Oh,
I ain't shying away. Shame on you, being an open book. We all eat. He's done a great job, man. You've done a great job. Keep going, big dog.
I take a lot of heat, man. Every show I'm on, first thing they say, we're gonna ask our resident Steeler what happened this week.
I will say you keep it more honest than some people because, you know, the Teddy Brewskis, I ain't never heard them talk about like that with New England.
And they terrible.
Yeah.
And they are trash.
Yes, you have been very honest. And we got to be able to take that on the chin sometimes.
I think, you know, it's so funny. So I saw Coach T off season, and he go, everybody be running up to me talking about, you heard what RC said. He said, yeah, I heard him. And he was right. The thing I would say is this, man. You know, I want to see you guys do it. I tell people all the time, I don't really cheer for a building. Right? It's not the building in Pittsburgh I care about, it's the people. I care about you, I care about Coach T, the people that sold into my life and gave me an opportunity to understand what it is to be a part of something like that. Do you think to yourself, hey, let's just run it back with Russ, let's get George right, let's let TJ be healthy, Minka do what he. Is there enough in this locker room, Cam, and enough on that coaching staff where you truly believe the Pittsburgh Steelers can go win a Super Bowl?
I do. You know, I don't shy away from that. Like, one, we didn't reach our goals, but players can get better. I can be better. If I don't think that, like, I need to get out of this game because I'm a competitor. You can't tell me I can't get in that door. I don't know what happens with our situations, and that's why that's why coaches and general managers get paid. But man, if we have a group, and we have a lot of guys, I thought grew. Guys like Calvin Austin grew. Guys like Joey Porter Jr. is going to continue to grow. Corey Trice stepped in. You know, you bring in a guy like Patrick Queen, who was in a different system. You bring him into that. I think he can get better. I think our D-line can be better. I think it's just our execution's got to pick up. And I'm going to challenge that. I'm not going to run from that, but the men in the room can get it done.
Well, man, I appreciate you, bro. You know I'm always rooting for you. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, man. Thank you, fam.
Appreciate you having me.
And guess what?
What?
You ain't even no bust.
Call that man a bust.
Hey.
He said it.